The title to this video is a lie, just to be clear. It's not just Windsor. It's all of Essex County that we're looking at, and it's not just neighborhoods. Sometimes it's regions or little towns. But regardless, what we're looking at is the top 5 best areas to live in Windsor for 2024 specifically. These are places that, to me, are sticking out as a good buy right now. My name's Ryan, by the way. I'm a real estate agent in southwestern Ontario. I've spent more than a decade in Windsor. I know this place like the back of my hand, and there's some things happening here and are going to be happening in the near future that might affect, you know, property values in neighborhoods and quality of life in different areas. So let's go over my top 5. This is my personal top 5. Okay, so first off, in no particular order, I want to mention Tecumseh. Specifically, these streets down here in Tecumseh, this little tail, I'll call it, the little fin of Tecumseh. First off, I've always liked these streets because they're very quiet. Like, no one goes driving around there unless they live there, so there's not much going on. There's also a diverse mix of housing, from small little homes on a big lot to massive, 3,000, 3,500 square foot 2-story homes in a nice subdivision. But this here is the real reason why this is on the list. It's close to the 401. It's close to the Municipal Expressway. It's close to the new mega hospital they're going to be building. And you know what? It's also close to the battery plant, okay? So for years to come, I feel like people are going to be saying that this spot right here is ideally located for many reasons. Tecumseh is technically its own town, kind of attached to Windsor in this like Kitchener-Waterloo type situation. It's right here on your map. It's a very safe and very small town. Like, I think, I didn't Google it, but I think there's like 25,000 people in the area. In 2019, it was ranked one of Canada's best places to live, which is a big deal because there's a lot of places to live in Canada. It's a very large, wide country. This made like the top 10. Pretty much all the schools in Tecumseh are really good, and all but like one of them are above average. If you live in this little area we're talking about right here, the school you will go to is Tecumseh Vista. This actually is JK all the way to grade 12, and yes, it does have an above average rating from the Fraser Institute. 6 is average. This is over 7. So students on province-wide testing are performing better than the Ontario average at this school. Now, one of my favorite things about Tecumseh is the parks. There's a couple big parks, and then there's a lot of little parks along the waterfront as well. So a big park right here is LaSalle Park. This is where you have your pickleball courts, your pool, baseball diamonds, and just play sets and open fields, which is really nice. And then over here you have Lakewood Park. This is big. I think it's like 1 kilometer long. There is a free disc golf course that you can play all along here. There's a paved path for walking or rollerblading or doing whatever you want to do. And then on the other side of the road, there is the waterfront portion of this park. There's a little beach entry there, and there's a pier. And people love to fish off this pier all summer long. This lake, St. Clair Lake, you got muskie, you got walleye, you got pike. What else you got? You got bass, and you got a ton more. You can just Google it. There's a whole list online if you Google fish in St. Clair Lake. Oh, and you know what? The Ganacho Trail was just extended, too. There's this, like, paved trail along Riverside Drive that goes all the way from the neighborhood of Riverside in Windsor all the way up to this park we were just talking about right here. It's like, I don't know what it is, like 15 kilometers long. So, again, biking, rollerblading, running, jogging, whatever you want to do. It's really cool that that's nearby. So this one isn't so much a neighborhood as it is a town. Kingsville, Ontario, on the shores of Lake Erie. So 2024 is poised to be another year of population growth in our area. There's just more and more people coming down from the Toronto area, and we are growing year over year. And as we do that, the roads get more crowded, and people get annoyed by crowded roads. So if you want to be away from all that, one of the great spots to be is kind of out on the outskirts. One of my favorites is Kingsville, way over here. So it's about 45 minutes from Windsor, so you have to be okay with a drive. There's no bad areas of Kingsville. It's like 20,000 people. It's very small. It's a nice, tight-knit community, the kind of community where you know your neighbors well. There's local restaurants, local farmers markets around every corner. It seems like beautiful parks in the summer, and you're close to the main beach in our area, the biggest beach, which is actually in Leamington. Kingsville, to me, I mean, this might be kind of cheesy and poetic, but it reminds me of a simpler time, like when you did know your neighbors, when people were all very friendly, and this was a smaller country, and you know what I mean? Like I said, there's no bad areas. There's little farmers selling their produce all summer long, all around the area. Locals might say I run the risk of ruining it by like mentioning it in YouTube videos, but let's be honest, a lot of people from Toronto are afraid of a tiny little town that doesn't even have a Walmart, okay? So I think a lot of them will probably be going to Windsor, but if you are the type of person that's okay with that country feel, this might be a good spot for you. As of the date of recording, a little like average middle-class house like this is gonna run you around $650,000 in the Kingsville area. We're going to talk about really affordable homes really close to the new battery plant that they are building in Windsor, which is going to be a major employer in this area, okay? My name is Ryan. I'm a real estate agent. I've spent more than like 10 years in the Windsor area. If you need information about moving here, feel free to reach out, okay? That's my phone number right there. I help people relocate into this area all the time. Also, if you want updates on the housing market in the Windsor area, there is a link down below in the bio. I send out a market update video every once in a while. I used to say every month, but I don't do it every month. I really just do it when there's something new to tell you about. So you can put your name in down there and you'll be added to the list. And again, that's my phone number if you want to talk about purchasing a home in the Windsor area. Up next, Lakeshore. Okay, listen, at first glance, this might look a lot like Kingsville. They're both small little towns on the shores of a lake, but in my mind, they're much different. All right? Like, again, to me, Kingsville is this small, little independent town tied to agriculture, whereas Lakeshore is sprawling suburbia. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing for those who want it. Like, this is row after row of carefully planned subdivisions of raised bungalows and 2 stories. Block after block of 50 by 110 foot lots with green grass and built in the last 10 to 15 years. Lakeshore is like a giant suburb of Windsor, okay? Now, there is Belle River, which is a smaller town that's still technically within the municipality of Lakeshore, a little bit further out. But what I'm talking about right here is specifically this part of Lakeshore. This is the new suburbs, and you need a car. There's no walkability here. Like, your grocery store you're going to is in Tecumseh, or you drive into Belle River if you want to go to Foodland and pay more for no reason. The Costco and pretty much everything else you want to do is going to be in Windsor. You're going to be driving a lot. And because of that, the prices are a little bit cheaper than that you would find in Windsor. So an average house or a 2-story house like this is going to be a little bit cheaper than what you would find in Windsor. So if you don't mind driving 20, 30 minutes, 30 seems like a stretch unless it's rush hour. Because honestly, there's one road going out there, Highway 22, which is the EC Row Expressway here. And at 5 o'clock, when everyone's driving back to their house in the suburbs in Belle River, this gets really busy. But anyway, if you want a nice little home in a very safe suburb that's good 20 minutes out of Windsor and a little bit cheaper, Lakeshore can be a really good spot for you. Okay, number 4 for 2024, this area here, close to the battery plant, okay? So this is actually like 2 different neighborhoods, okay? So this right here is Forest Glade, and this right here is all part of what is called East Riverside. This new battery plant is gonna, at its max capacity, employ like 3,500 people, right? So I'm anticipating people wanting to live near work and the property values near that work to increase. One of my favorite sections here is right here. I mean, you're literally like 2 minutes from the battery plant, and these are all new build, semi-detached, and townhomes. So if you want something new, but you don't want to pay $1 million, which most new detached homes are, these can be cheap. These can be bought for like $600,000. A lot of them are brand new, okay? So look at these streets here, like Viola and Seaville and Palmetto, all around here. This is where they're built, okay? Like this one here just sold around the 600,000 mark. That's the kind of thing you're getting. Alternatively, this over here is Forest Glade. Now, Forest Glade has always been a little bit more blue collar, a little bit cheaper, but certainly safe. It's a good area, okay? So a house like this will sell for around the 550,000 mark in Forest Glade. This one here is a nice house. It's even cheaper. It's $500,000, okay? It's 5 minutes from the battery plant. And this right here, it's a little bit further, and it is a townhome, but this sold for like under $450,000. So a Forest Glade right now is a lot cheaper. And it's a nice little community. Like right in the center of it, they got this massive like park community center where there's pickleball courts, tennis courts, there's play gyms, there's a hockey rink. Forest Glade is a nice little spot that might be a good investment down the road. Last but not least for 2024, South Windsor, specifically this section right here. Do you know why? The school district. The top-rated school in our entire county on the most recent update from the Fraser Institute was Bellwood Public School, located right here. And here's what's crazy is it's surrounded by somewhat affordable homes. Like often the best school in cities is like surrounded by like multi-million-dollar homes. But this one, like you can pick up homes in this area for $550,000, $600,000. So this school serves JK to grade 8, but fair warning, it is French immersion, okay? If you don't want French immersion, this might not be all that practical for you, but if you do want French immersion, this is the best school in our county right now, and you can live in that school district for, again, $600,000. So this one right here, it sold exactly what I just said for $600,000. It was really well done inside. It had a garage in the back. If you lose the garage, it does get a little bit cheaper, okay? So this one here sold a little bit under $600,000, again, in the same school district. With South Windsor, you're close to the road that turns into the bridge to go to Detroit. You're close to the 401, which is really nice. And you got some nice shopping, like Costco is over here on Walker Road. It's not too far of a drive. It's pretty close. South Windsor has always been known as a really good spot to live in Windsor. So those are the 5 areas I wanted to focus on for 2024 for you. If, like, I didn't mention LaSalle, it doesn't mean LaSalle isn't good anymore. LaSalle's always been a great place, but nothing's really changed or new over in LaSalle. It's still expensive. It's still great schools. It's still a good option for a lot of people. If you need more information about moving to the Windsor area and you want to buy a house down here, I get calls and texts from YouTube all the time. That is my phone number right there, okay? Feel free to reach out.